months. So joining us to talk about all of this is Democratic Congresswoman from Virginia, Abigail Spanberger, a former CIA officer, now also serving on the Intelligence Committee. She's also running for governor in Virginia. Congresswoman, thank you very much. So, contrary to a lot of misconceptions, the U.S. is 14th or 15th as proportion of GDP in terms of supplying weapons to Ukraine. Importantly, though, the U.S. is the only supplier of certain types of weapons, so that is a hang-up. But compared to the Scandinavian countries, the U.S. is far behind, and other countries in the EU, in NATO. But again, it's those categories, the ATACMS, things that they really need at this point in the war. What's your assessment?
The United States, as we know, is an absolute global leader in military strength. It has been our support to the Ukrainians that has allowed them to continue fighting this war for their own freedom in support of democratic values. And as you mentioned, we are not in it alone, but we are also leading the way. Since the very beginning, the United States has been a central partner, not only to our Ukrainian allies in their fight for freedom, but in bringing together partners from across the world to support Ukraine. But we do have unique military advantages, and we do supply our Ukrainian partners with important military supplies and lethal aid that cannot be provided by other entities. And it is extraordinarily important, not just for Ukraine and their fight for freedom, that we continue to support them, but it is in our national security interests that the United States maintain our support for Ukraine in their fight against Russia.
And now Speaker Johnson has just released a letter today to his caucus saying if rumors of the Senate border compromise are true, in his words, it would have been dead on arrival in the House. So if he's calling it rumors, so he doesn't even know the contours or the specifics of the deal, supposedly, that the senators have been working on, including Senate Republicans. Would enough Democrats cross over? Would it be dead on arrival, or is there enough votes in a bipartisan bill, assuming that all the Republicans don't follow the Speaker's direction?
The Speaker's comments are ridiculous. The fact that he wants to kill a proposal before it even has a chance to move forward is absolutely ridiculous. The fact that he and so many within his conference are talking morning, noon, and night about the crisis at the border, about the need to do something. They plan to impeach Secretary Mayorkas. But yet, when the opportunity is there, because of the work of the Senate, to potentially take steps forward, he is already saying it's dead on arrival. The importance of this issue, the importance of addressing our need for increased border security, for recognizing that our broken immigration system is impacting people and families and employers and farms throughout my district that are trying desperately to hire people to help support their work and our economy in Virginia. This is an extraordinarily important issue that requires us to take action. And that's why not only, in addition to what we've seen moving forward in the Senate, but there's a great bipartisan bill in the House called the Dignity Act, led by Veronica Escobar, a Democrat from Texas, and Maria Salazar, a Republican from Florida. And I mention this because the urgency that many members are bringing to this conversation is clear. In the House, in the Senate, Democrats and Republicans. And the fact that the Speaker of the House, with the ability to either bring a bill forward or not, is essentially saying he will not even contend with conversations related to the Senate's bill for political reasons, because he wants, his perfect version of the bill. It's a total abdication, I think, of his responsibility as Speaker. And it is not allowing for us to do the work of the people. Andrea, having not seen the full finished Senate bill, if a bill can pass the United States Senate with at least 60 votes to pass that filibuster threshold, presumably there would be a broad bipartisan majority within the House. And what the Speaker is communicating is that that bipartisan majority in the Senate means nothing, and that the bipartisan majority in the House means nothing, because his ability to, just through inaction, kill legislation is the path that he would choose to take. And this is on one of the priority issues that every legislator should be earnestly focused on trying to get at. And the fact that he would be doing this for political gains to support the former president is just shameful.